In PC, we do not currently know the state of. Alright, it's beware. Okay, blah 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 blah. It just heads up. Caption says available one box is not being ported. Making sure you being secret gifts and all blah blah blah. Many people say that this game has no difficulty. I mean, I usually go for Blackmyth. I usually go before you buy, and I don't think it's a spoiler review. I really don't think so, unless if you don't want to see some kind of footage inside the game. But I think they probably show only the demo part or the alpha part, like what the trailer have shown, because gamer ranks always do that. If there's any sign of spoiler, I put it down immediately, 100%.
An eye on it. Now, keep in mind with this video, this is my first impressions after the first like 13, 14 hours or so.
13, 14 hours.
I'm actually liking this one more than I expected. It's flawed for sure, but I think if you had your eye on this and
that is such a bad way to open your review about a game. It's flawed for sure. Bro, stop starting with flawed. All right, it's just not a nice way to start your review with. This game is people hype for this game, for God's sake, and you gotta start your review with it's flawed for sure. Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's ambitious.
What game is this again? Look nice. It's Wukong.
I think
Blackmyth
this is a
Wukong.
great debut for this studio. And just so you know, I've been playing a review copy on PC. That's
a review
where all
copy.
This footage is, and
right.
all of
so he technically played a review copy. There won't be any spoiler because he can only show the review part, which also I think showed only what's available and not to spoil anything, you know.
This gameplay footage you see here is spoiler free. So,
spoiler free.
If you haven't already heard this, it's important to note that Blackmyth Wukong is inspired by the 16th century classical Chinese novel Journey to the West. Now, this to me is one of the game's defining bits. It's why I was interested. You play as a badass monkey with a staff and you go on a really varied adventure fighting zombies and creatures, rat kings, evil ancient monks,
very
dragons.
nice. This game have a very
fairly linearly
high
structured
hype
game
expectation.
with some diversions. It's not really a Souls-like, like many people expected.
Yay! He said it! He's not really a Souls-like, like many people expected. I mean, like, it's kind of like, oh, the developer themselves actually said this outright. I mean, say this to everyone, that they never intended for Wukong to be a Souls-like, and they say that the game more inclined with game like God of War, and so that's actually a saying. Like, if the developer themselves said that, you know, that's actually a saying that the game will not feel like Souls-like because the developers say themselves. So the game probably gonna be more inclined with God of War type of game, Devil May Cry. I'm not sure about Devil May Cry, but yeah, God of War.
Sure, you rest and level up at like bonfire checkpoints, but that's really where the comparisons end. This is an action combat adventure.
Now that's fun. That's fun. All right, ladies and gents, I was like 70% of buying Wukong because I don't want it to be like Sekiro, you know what I mean? But when he said action combat and it's not Souls-like, oh hell, man! I don't know how long I'll be able to actually get enough fun to actually get Wukong, but once I get it, I get it. You know what I mean? Wukong is going into the wish list right now. Wukong is going into the wish list of Mr. Knighttime. And if I can get this game, I'll play for you guys, all right? If you guys are excited for this game as I do, man, this is going to be exciting, 100%. Yeah, Yamble, by the way, you can keep your earphones on because it's a spoiler-free review. So you're safe, Yamble. You're safe from the spoiler.
With light RPG elements, you have some stats to worry about, but you're not upgrading like a multitude of stats like endurance and strength and magic and intelligence. No, it's all just focused on, you know, the basic level up and simple loot and character progression through a skill tree and some other tricks along the way. Now, your character as a baseline.
Honestly, I think this might just put away all those Souls-like fans. You know, they might feel like, because they're expecting a Souls-like game from Wukong gameplay, so they probably, this review might put them away from playing Wukong. I don't know, but yeah, Souls-like fans have this kind of niche where they want the game to feel like Souls-like. You know, if they cannot get a Souls-like feeling out of that supposedly Souls-like games, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna like it. So this might put away Wukong from them, you know. I mean, put them away from Wukong, but But man, I like it. I like it. I like the fact that you see, this is the thing that was going on with Modern Life. I know lots of Souls-like players actually love this thing where there are more and more of Souls-like games out there coming out by indie developers or AAA developers. But here's my thought: it's just too effing much of Souls-like games. There's just sometimes they even just copy 100% of what Dark Souls is doing. So I feel like there's not enough varieties to go for. I like that the game is evolved, like Lies of P did it better in so many ways, you know, but there's only so much until you feel like there's just too much of Souls-like games, you know. And I like the fact that Blackmyth Wukong actually kind of like go to a different path. It doesn't follow the routes where the trend is going right now, which is, of course, we all know Elden Ring trend and stuff. Elden Ring kind of like carry all the wave, you know, and it's happening again because the DLC just dropped this year. So the trend is going hard on Souls-like games, but I like the fact that Blackmyth Wukong is going for a different path, different route. Now the developers straight away said it might have some kind of element from Souls-like, but it's not Souls-like. It's definitely an action combat game that more inclined towards like game like God of War. Ladies and gents, respect to this developer.
Has a heavy and light attack as well.
What do you guys think though? What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this game not being a Souls-like game?
To build this up, or hold a button to waste some stamina and charge it up, and then bam. When you have these points, you can launch a more powerful heavy attack that can often stagger enemies and have other bonuses. You can also deflect certain enemy projectiles, but otherwise, your main defense is really just dodging like crazy. Perfect dodges are rewarded with a satisfying effect and a little bonus, so get that focus stored up and hit triangle at the right moment, and bam! A Monster Hunter greatsword level slam.
He said it, guys. He said it. He said a Monster Hunter level whatever. So he compared this game with Monster Hunter, and I have a feeling that this game have kind of that feeling, that Monster Hunter feeling in it. I do feel like this game going to have that kind of feeling, a little bit at least, a little bit. Maybe there's a lot of originality that goes with this game, but there will be some similarities. There will be some kind of feelings that make you feel like you're the feeling that you had with Monster Hunter games, and it's going to be mind-blowing for Monster Hunter fans because he just literally made the comparisons there. What do you guys think though?
Dunk that just feels so satisfying to properly pull off. There are also multiple stances that are swappable on the fly with the D-pad. These stances are really just variations on the monkey's staff. Oh, did I forget to mention that it's like a staff that can transform? Because that's part of the ancient lore, man. Get with it. These don't change your entire fighting style, but they do matter the most with that charged heavy attack for situational shakeups. There's the big heavy slam, which is just so satisfying. I tend to stick with that as the main, but then there's the elevated staff where the monkey perches atop it like a tall pole, avoiding some damage while also charging up a big downward slam. There's more, and I'm still experimenting with them, but I'll let you discover them. They seem pretty situational, and I've had a tendency to only swap to and use them in specific instances, more than just having them equipped and using them consistently. Even still, sometimes it's tough to learn where exactly a stance might work, because enemy attacks are so insane and aggressive, it can take a lot of trial and error to really get what the hell you're doing with a stance. A lot of the times you're given these stances and then their use case isn't really spelled out for you. You gotta just figure it out. But still, I kinda like these implementations. Along with that, you have a magic meter that you can spend on special abilities. The first one introduced to you is a temporary and pretty short enemy freeze, like catching them for just enough time to land a few hits. Some of these abilities are offensive, some that help a little bit in the defense department, and they're paced throughout the game, and which kind of like divert a bit from
there's no block, there's no parry
at the right moment.
The only dodge,
so good to screw over an enemy at the last second. These are on cooldowns, but the bigger challenge and strategy is not
combat action gameplay kind of way
before getting to a challenging enemy where you're really gonna need it. You're also essentially defeating certain enemies and collecting some of their abilities. Our hero character is canonically like a shapeshifter, and throughout the game you defeat and earn the ability to transform into these enemies temporarily. There's a full
awesome.
transformation where like you can temporarily become a different creature and walk around and kick ass, or ones that you trigger and you will transform for a moment for like a quick thing, or like a big special one-hit attack, or like a poison blast, stuff like
see,
that.
the features.
These
The
things
features is
give
good enough.
variation to a
I like
pretty
it.
simple striking combat system. You can do light
like all
attacks
these-
and then
these
time it right
features
with a
that
heavy
he's talking
attack.
about
And the
right now.
animations are incredible, but after a while, you might find yourself just doing the same best combos over and over again. It really only matters
It's
when
a combo
an enemy feels
base.
like a grind,
It's
or
a
like
combo
when you're
based
fighting
game.
low-level enemies. The more complex bosses, you really have bigger things to worry about. Is the combat most refined, the most laser precise, balanced thing? No. If you were looking for a Souls-like, this is where you might be disappointed if you were looking
There
for
you
even
go.
more depth. But
He said it.
I had
He
fun
said
with
it.
it. Story-wise, it has a lot going.
What did he say? He said if you're looking for a Souls-like game, this game might disappoint you because it's not Souls-like. well, I guess that's just what it is. Am I happy? I mean, like, I don't mind what kind of game it is. But those people, those players that expect a Souls-like games from Wukong, they will get disappointed because, yeah. Like I said, Souls players, they have this kind of niche where they just want to go for Souls-like games. You know, they just want to stick with Souls-like games. They don't want to divert away from those games. So that there are Souls players that actually like that. So they might get disappointed with Wukong, unfortunately. But damn, I'm actually happy for the fact that the developers actually went for a different route. Like I said, that's just too much of Souls-likes, you know what I mean? Like, I keep on feeling Souls-like. The next game coming out, Souls-like. The next game coming out, Souls-like. Stellar Blade, Souls-like. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, though. That might be a combo system, whatever. But Phantom Blade Zero, Souls-like. All of these new games coming out, Lies of P, Souls-like. But there's just too much of it, you know? I know it can be a good thing. It can be a good thing because it's an evolution of that Souls-like genre, you know, into a better game. But it's just kind of, I don't know, there's just not much of varieties of gaming anymore that goes with the upcoming games, you know? So I like the fact that the developers actually go for a different route on this one.
Going for it because of like what I said, like what it's based on. I only know the basics of Sun Wukong, but I was really just here for the ride and to be exposed to Chinese myth. You get mysterious tales, beautiful vignettes, thoughtful quotes, really well-designed and cool-looking characters.
Right, the story and the myth of Sun Wukong is actually very interesting.
You just kind of go along,
you know,
things happen.
I like the
and
fact that
characters say
he's
things
an
and quote random
anti-hero.
things,
Now,
and it
Wukong
really
is an
does not do a
anti-hero.
good
He's
job
not
of
hero.
ushering
He's
people
not a
into
hero.
these
He's no
ancient
means
tales. I was so
anyway
curious the
a
whole time,
hero.
and I
And
had
some
fun seeing cool
and
stuff,
some
but I wasn't, like, compelled
some
or
presentation of
emotionally
him
invested.
actually
It's just like a
said
sequence of
actually
really cool
put him in a
stuff.
villain
Now, the game
position.
is structured
He can be
in
a villain.
chapters.
He can be a
There's
hero.
typically
Either
a
way,
big
but
bad
one thing
boss
for
at the
sure,
end of a chapter,
he's
and it's a
super
matter of
strong.
you getting
Like
your
Sun
way
Wukong
there.
is super
You might
strong.
run into
Like
one
his
mid-boss that kicks your ass, so turn
he
around
can
and find
challenge
another
the
alternating
god.
path
He
that
can
likely
challenge the
brings you
god
to
from the
another
heaven.
mid-boss you can cut your teeth on
Technically,
first.
that's what he did.
Occasionally,
He
you'll
challenged
run
the god
into
from the
an
heaven.
NPC
So he's
or a
super
little
strong,
mystery,
you know?
but this is
But
mostly areas
like I said,
with
he's
a few
anti-hero.
mob-type
Fortunately, he's
enemies
anti-hero,
that
but he's
mostly
super
aren't
strong.
too crazy. And
So
then
I
a
like
few
the
tougher
fact-
guys
I
here and
like
there,
Sun Wukong's
and then
story.
lots and lots of bosses. Like, I mean it. You can fight one unique boss.
So
walk through
technically,
a
whatever
hallway,
he's
and then
doing,
bam,
whatever
there's
he
a
do,
completely new,
it all based on his
different
heart.
boss
If
ready
he want to do it,
square
if he
up.
want to do
This
it,
is
he'll
where
do
the
it.
game
If he
is
don't want to
really
do it, he will not
ambitious.
do
Like
it.
I said, the amount of
You know, I like
unique
this kind of
fights
character.
feels really, really damn special. The amount of times I was in
And
a
it's just wanna have
glorious,
fun most
over-the-top, brutal
Most of the
fight
time, it's just
with, like,
wanna
you know,
have fun when you fight.
screen-filling
You know, that's
animations and
Sun Wukong.
explosions, thinking, oh man, this has to be the end of this whole chapter or sequence. You know, maybe I'll get a big cutscene or something. And then I finally beat them, and then nope, that was just a regular pedestrian boss in the middle of a level with another one right around the corner. A mid-boss in this game rivals some of the best bosses in other like regular action games, and that's really damn impressive.
That's awesome,
From the
man.
level of challenge to the music
You know,
and setting,
the
to, like,
enemy
over-the-top
varieties is
crazy
crazy.
movesets of
Look
some
at
of these
this
enemies.
tiger. I like
It's
this
just
tiger
nuts.
already.
And
I like
I've been
this
having a lot
tiger
of fun
already.
just consistently encountering new cool
Enemy
stuff.
varieties is so awesome.
It makes it feel really well paced, and also also got me a little addicted. Man.
Viper, what do you
I
think
kept
of this
playing
game?
After I said I'd stop because
Do you think
I just wanted to see the
I should
next
go and
new
try
thing around
to
every corner.
buy
And
it and
it's
play
just
it?
really fun when you get a good run going
really
and you
does
just feel
look
like
very
a
cool, man.
ruthless badass. When the combat hits, it hits. Now, some of the big
Notice that the reviewer, he keep on saying really fun, really fun, really fun. You know what that tells me? That tells me that it's not, the difficulty will not reach the height of a Souls game, which means it's an enjoyable game. You know, it can be challenging at some point, but it's not as challenging as Souls game. I think that's what the reviewer is telling right now. He's technically saying it's a fun game and anyone can actually play the game. Anyone can actually have fun with it. It won't be like Souls-like. It will not be as difficult as Souls-like. It's going to be an enjoyable ride. So I think I like this. I really do. This is awesome.
boss enemies go so insane that they will actually trap you in a corner and like the camera lock on screws up and makes it so you can't see attacks are coming. This happened to me way more than I'd like. And it was pretty annoying when I was doing well, but happened to get boxed into a corner by a taller enemy who jumps in the air, and then the camera gets stuck because it tried to pan up, and now like it's just a mess, and then I can't see big hits coming my way. Very frustrating. Also, if we're talking about annoying stuff, this game really needs a map. As far as I know, I couldn't find one. Even if it's just a vague map, it would really help because some of the chapters have really big areas.
Yeah, that's one of the great things that I read from an article. Like they talk about the fact that the game have a very big, massive level, and the map is very big. And there's, I mean, the map is very big, but there's no map. They don't hold your hand. You kind of like need to explore yourself, and it's really easy to get lost, to be lost in this game, you know. So that's one of the critiques that goes from the article that I read back at my work, and I think it's just what it is. I think those are really important when you want to put player on a map. I know they try to give you the sense of exploration, like you explore yourself, you know, but if it's kind of like, honestly, I don't really mind because the fact that Souls-like fans might like this because no map and stuff. But most critics say this game might need a map. But yeah, that's just what it is. I don't know how big is the map, but the map might become an issue to most people because, like I said, the critic did say that at some point you just kind of like lost and you don't know where to go anymore. You know, it's that happens in this game.
Noting that you can revisit and fast travel back to previous areas, previous little bonfires if you want, but that doesn't really show you much in terms of like getting a good read on an environment, on a layout. But man, I will compliment the look of these areas. Level design wise, everything is really simple, like structural.
Guys, very interesting enemy design. Look at that, guys.
And I did encounter some
this is very interesting, man. A skeleton with long necks. Oh my, damn. Whoever is behind the scene, the developers, the artists, the designer that created this, that created this design, you know, man. And the fact that Wukong, I mean, Blackmyth Wukong have a high praise on the varieties of enemies that they got in the game. That even added up, that even make it better. Like, dang, they are a good designer. Dang, their creativity is just like over the top, you know, over the roof. That's just what it is. It's awesome. Look at that design.
Walls, which was
look at that design, guys. Oh my god.
But otherwise, damn, these areas look really good graphically. Dry grasslands, deep deserts,
that is a very good design.
Green,
I
detailed
like it.
forests, blinding white snow. In all of it, they really excel here. From graphics to art design, this game is absolutely gorgeous. Flowing rivers, lush foliage, detailed textures, striking shadows, and ray tracing.
Guys.
This is the rare instance of a game that was like originally teased as a graphical showcase like years ago, and then the final product actually looks really good. With that being said, I did play on PC, and even on a high-end PC, I did have some issues. The occasional stuttering, a few glitches with some enemies floating, a few crashes, and some little frame rate issues, especially as you get deeper into the game. Means if you
look at that design, man. Ladies and gents, just look at that design. My god, I like it. White hair and everything. Look at that.
you're sensitive to this stuff, you should maybe wait
Oh
or
my
do
God.
some more research
This is
with a
a
PC
beautiful
nerd
game.
reviewer.
This
I've
can
seen
be
some
a
critics
very
not have any
colorful,
issues. I've seen
in a
some
dim
have
way,
worse than me.
in a dim
I
way,
also have not seen
beautiful
the
game.
console version of this game, and I believe
What do you
none
guys
of my
think
fellow
about this
reviewers
game?
have
You guys
either,
seriously
meaning
got no
definitely
words to
wait
say about
until
this
we know
game?
what's up,
It's
because
gorgeous,
this game is
man.
coming in a little hot.
Look
the
at
potential
that.
technical
Oh my
issues
God.
muffles what
Look
is
at that
otherwise
animations,
a really
bruh.
fun game.
Maybe
Like
it's
I
just
said,
the Kung
be
Fu
warned,
animations.
it's not
I have a thing
Souls-like,
with Kung
and
Fu.
some Souls
I love
fans
Kung Fu so
might not
much,
love
so
the
yeah.
combat, but they'll like the challenge.
But I
for
like
sure.
it.
Me
A little bit of
personally,
bites,
playing this
but-
game, I'm
and
having
man,
a blast.
whatever,
Wukong
it's
is a
still beautiful.
challenging, thrilling adventure with unique lore, setting, and vibe, and I definitely recommend it at some point. But that's it before you buy. You know
Oh,
how this
I
goes
like
by
it.
now.
I
give
like
you some
that, man.
pros,
That's
some
just
cons,
awesome.
and some personal opinion. And now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Have you been looking forward to this game? I'd love to know your
100%.
impressions from watching a bunch of
100%, bro.
gameplay and stuff like that. This review is dropping before the game actually is out, before you can actually buy it and play it. So we just wanted to get you some quick info here. Hopefully it helped. Enjoy the gameplay. Let us know what you're thinking about Blackmyth Wukong, really, journey to the...
We're gonna put it down now. Oh my God, what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? It's just, oh man,